games like Splatoon,
Gotcha!
Super Mario Maker,
Wanna play?
You made this?
Yep.
and Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. There's only one thing you'll be dreaming about this holiday. Play Nintendo. Play Wii U. Games rated E to E10+.
Okay, people, it's about time to continue the Wii U collection. Now, these are either co-op games or multiplayer fun games that we're going to go over, and man, they are a ton of fun. If you're the type of person that likes to play video games with friends, these are must-have titles, no matter what. I really enjoyed all of these games thoroughly. Some are relaxing, some are more friendship ruiners, you might say. And I hope you enjoy the video ahead. This game is Sonic and Sega AllStars Racing Transformed. And it's a sequel to the Wii game that came out earlier. What's funny is this game came out a number of years ago, and then it came out 2 years later in Japan in 2014 instead of 2012. I found that very fascinating. This is surprisingly the 8th racing Sonic game ever, and this is by far the best Sonic game. It basically molds all the best elements of kart racers that there have been, combat kart racers in particular, and creates this very fun game. The issues behind it is in the multiplayer. It's still fun, but being that this is on the Wii U, one player has to play only on the gamepad while the other plays on the TV. My theory behind this is this was to prevent the frame rate drop in the game. So luckily the game maintains a lot of its aspects. The story mode / career mode is a lot of fun. The Grand Prix mode is there just like in Super Mario Kart games. A plethora of famous Sega characters are to choose from and are available, and during the career mode you get to unlock each and every one of them. I personally love playing as Alex Kidd. Really brings back the Sega Master System days, Sega's origins, you might say. And for some reason, Wreck-It Ralph is in here. And along with... Basically, the first game was kind of, I feel like, an experiment by Sega, trying to get back into the kart racing, or just racing in general. The weaponry is fantastic. The cars control very well. One thing improved upon from the first game is the drifting, still in from the first game, and the fact that the cars can now transform in between boat and planes depending on the course. My favorite aspect about the game, other than the game itself, is the fact that the courses change as you play them per level. So, for example, on the very first one, during that third and final lap, it changes into a boat course. So it really gets you to play the games in many different ways. It's a ton of fun. I just can't believe anybody who has a Wii U doesn't have this game, especially if they're a Mario Kart fan themselves. I personally highly recommend Sonic and Sega AllStars Racing Transformed over the original, and it's a must-have for the Wii U and anybody that loves to have racing games and fun with friends and family. So this game came out in 2015. It's called Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, because if you have a Nintendo, odds are you're going to want a Kirby game. Now this one is actually a follow-up, not so much a sequel to the DS game Kirby's Canvas Curse, in which the story is all the color has been stolen from the world, and Kirby and the new paintbrush friend, along with Waddle Dee, the guy with the little spear that you'll see in a minute, have this mission to get all the color back in the world. It's very simplistic, it's natural Nintendo, and unlike other Kirby games, this one in particular, Kirby is stuck in this ball form, and you use the paintbrush friend to create lines of paint for Kirby to ride on, and then there's various skills Kirby acquires. You get a multitude of abilities with Kirby, such as when you tap the Wii U gamepad, Kirby goes into this ball mode to attack, and then when you get 100 stars, you get a super attack. It's very simplistic, and Kirby can ride along this rope, paint rope, you might say, up and down on it, and if you throw the rope through another, it takes it away. So it develops a sort of strategy, and boy, is this a quite relaxing game. A little bit of challenge, And the one aspect I believe is an issue in the game is the boss battles seem to be really in the favor of a co-op mode. You want to have a friend who is Waddle Dee have the ability there to spike enemies, and Kirby's just kind of there for the ride, you might say. But if you that is to say the game is playable in single player, and it is a lot of fun. Each level seems unique and different from the last. You have treasure chests to collect, all the stars in the level, so there's various things to do in the game, and things that are thrown in, such as what we'll see here, where adorable Kirby gets splattered, and little black and white areas where you can't draw your rope. Later on, there's the boss battles get a little repetitive. You start seeing similar things every once in a while, but boy, is the game just a nice, relaxing, fun ride. I really enjoy it. If you have a Wii U and you're okay with more or less a childish game, such as the Kirby franchise, Kirby's Rainbow Curse is something I highly recommend. Okay, so this is Bayonetta 2, a Wii U exclusive. Surprisingly enough, a mature game on a Nintendo console. Now, if anyone knows anything about Bayonetta in the first game, it's a bit controversial with a sexualized, badass woman character who attacks with her hair, and she sort of has this demonic past where she's a witch, and if she doesn't destroy demon souls, she'll get sucked down to hell and whatnot. The game is incredibly sexualized. It certainly knows it, as you can see here by the boob and vagina shots. But, man, you want to talk about a game that really took what made the first one so popular and refined it into the second one. I can't even begin to truly understand what the plot is, other than angels and demons and hell and crazy enemies. The combat system is just utterly fantastic. The Wii U port of the first one came with this game, so I will be going over that eventually, but the game, Bayonetta 2, never falters from start to finish. They really put in a whole bunch of additions into the game, such as Bayonetta riding on some mech, and you're fighting in all different kinds of environments. It's just non-stop bloody action from start to finish. It maintains its graphic, gothic little atmosphere mixed in with something along the present day, and my god, the witty humor never stops. Bayonetta as a character really has people up in arms, even many years later. You see cosplays of Bayonetta. There's been an anime made over her. This game actually has Japanese voice actors available. It's quite surprising that somehow Nintendo was able to exclusify, if that's even a word, the sequel to such a franchise. I really can't recommend Bayonetta 2 enough, especially if you're a fan of such a series as the Devil May Cry franchise. This is kind of the female comic alternative to that kind of game. The visuals are fantastic, the colors are vibrant, the enemies are just as strange as ever, and the British chick here, Bayonetta, is still lovable as ever. If you have a Wii U, you have to have Bayonetta 2, especially since it comes with, in my opinion, a better port of the first game, too. Gotta get it. Plain and simple. Now here's another relaxing game, Yoshi's Woolly World. It's a yarn game, so if you have any sort of idea of a previous yarn game, such as Kirby's Yarn, Epic Yarn, this is a great little co-op game and single-player game that you can be involved with and have for the Wii U. So the Wii U does have a lot of exclusive titles. What's fun about this game is you can have your little Yoshi Yarn amiibo if you have that, and that'll add a little something extra to the game. The plot is simple. Evil Magic Koopa comes and takes a bunch of Yoshis and turns them into yarn for his master, and scatters them across all the worlds. This is the definition of a relaxed, casual game. Especially coming off something as we just saw with Bayonetta 2, this is really the polar opposite in so many ways. It's adorable, which is a great word to describe it. It's simple, and it does everything so well. The side-scrolling platform aspect is great. Everything handles great. You can eat enemies and poop out yarn and then throw them at other enemies. And there's stuff, just like in what we saw in Kirby's Canvas Curse, there's everything along the level to collect and try to really complete the game 100%. Especially if you're totally into the game, it really gives the game a longevity. You get to interact in the world in so many different ways, such as throwing yarn to making platforms, and then eating areas to unravel new areas to find. It's so fun. A port was even made for the 3DS, so even if you don't have a Wii U, this is still a great game, even for a handheld. I haven't played it myself, but I imagine if it's anything like this, it would be a nice little game to have on the plane. The fact that this came out just a couple years ago, in 2015, really speaks volumes to just how nice and simple the game is, and how well it was made. Just like in Kirby's Canvas Curse, each level does seem to get... No, I'll take that back. Each level does get a little repetitive after a while, unlike in Canvas Curse, but it does have that nice simplistic feel to keep you going back and continuing level upon level. I really enjoy it. I recommend Yoshi's Woolly's World. Even I was hesitant at first, but I did come around after playing it and getting the game. The last game here is Mario Kart 8. It almost doesn't even need an introduction these days. If you have any Nintendo console, you're gonna probably want and get a Mario Kart game. What sets this one apart from all the others, in my personal opinion, nothing can compare to the original thrill of Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo. But for some reason, Mario Kart 8 really brings back a lot of love to the franchise. There's a plethora of characters to choose from, a couple DLC tracks and DLC characters to get involved with, and then there's one added class mode that really takes the game to a new level, which is the upper CC level, which makes the game so fast and uncontrollable, even the most skilled Mario Kart players from the past will take a lot of practice to get used to. Each course, there are some that have kind of an homage to past Mario Karts, which gets you a little bit on that nostalgic side, but also because of how well made and controlling the game is, it really, like what we saw in the Sonic AllStars Racing, this one has even better controls. Although I personally enjoy Sonic All-Star Racing more than Mario Kart 8, that doesn't mean I don't thoroughly enjoy what Mario Kart 8 is. It is probably the best and greatest Mario Kart of all time, and the fact that a port is coming to the Nintendo Switch console with added courses and characters really might even motivate people to get the game again. Even if you don't have a Wii U, and you have a Nintendo Switch, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is coming out, and that would be more than enough to motivate you from getting another Mario Kart game. All your favorite characters are in the game, no one seems to be left out, the shells and attacks and powers are all there, and even with some added ones along the way. The game just blew my mind away with the visuals and controls. It's a must-have. So those were 5 great multiplayer games for the Wii U. I said it before, I actually prefer Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed as the superior kart racer. However, the multiplayer aspect does have its drawbacks. Mario Kart is for sure the better mechanically driven game, and probably the more popular one. Then you got the Kirby and Yoshi game that's just so relaxing. And you can't forget about the crazy non-stop action that is Bayonetta 2. I can't recommend all of these games enough. If you have a Wii U, you gotta look to at least getting a few of these. Especially if you are, again, into multiplayer games, these are fantastic. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and look forward to the next one.